106.1 KYVZ. Good Thursday morning on the phone with meteorologist Chris Schromick at Decision Weather. And Chris, kind of another chilly start to the day.
We're kind of in between systems, actually. We saw yesterday we got a southerly westerly wind, and we were trying to warm up there to that 32 degrees, and Atwood got to 30, and it just kind of halted. You got out there towards Goodland, out to the Colorado border, and we actually saw temperatures, in the upper 30s and going into the 40s. It looks like we're going to have that same scenario again today. Where there's going to be quite a temperature difference from west to east. This morning we got temperatures that are already starting in the mid-20s out there in Goodland, Burlington area, and you get here into the Colby and Atwood areas, and we're looking at temperatures of 11 in Oakley. We got 12 up in Oberlin, and here in Atwood we're recording in Colby around 15 degrees. So as we see these low pressure coming out of Colorado, and around midday we're going to have a strong cold front move through here. Right now that's up there in the Nebraska Panhandle, northeastern Colorado, and when that swings through, that's going to turn our winds around to a north-northeast direction and really pick up. We're talking gusts 25, 35, maybe even all the way up to 45 miles per hour through the afternoon. Evening, then dying down during the overnight hours. But what that's going to do is all that Arctic air that we're trying to push off to the north and east yesterday, it'll grab it and then pull it back over the area. So we'll see our temperatures top out here around lunchtime, in those middle to upper 30s out there along the Colorado border. Here in town, we'll probably only reach at the lower 20s. And then as we go to the overnight, we'll see those temperatures drop to around zero and maybe even go at a degree or two below zero. When we see tomorrow come around, it's going to be much different. It's going to be much colder. We got a wind chill advisory in place during the morning hours along Highway 25 into the east in our counties. And then we'll see temperatures only climb up there in the low to mid-teens. Then we'll have another low temperature in those lower single digits. And then on Saturday, we've seen the winds turn back to a south direction. They'll try to push that cold air out of here, but still struggle to only get there to probably into the lower 20s. Again, we'll have wind chill advisories there Saturday morning. And then as we head towards Sunday, those south winds will continue to blow, and that's the day we'll try to get those temperatures. We'll definitely be out in the 40s out in Colorado. We're probably still going to be like we saw yesterday in that 30 to 35 degree range because you got the snow on the ground and it's sublimated and holding back the temperatures and producing clouds and maybe even a little bit of freezing fog. Once we get to next week in the long-range forecast, the pattern starts to shift. We've still got all this trough activity out to the west, sending systems, into the southern plains. But then that El Nino subtropical jet catches those and then moves them off to our south and east. So there'll be rain and wintry mix down there in Oklahoma, southern Kansas, Texas, definitely turning into thunderstorms and wintry precipitation once it moves into the central and southern Mississippi Valley areas. And then we're kind of in this in-between battleground where we still got this probably some snow on the ground. Our temperatures will be struggling to reach into those middle to upper 30s, right around 40, which is normal for this time of year. But the good thing is, that air is of Gulf and Pacific origin, and this Arctic stuff should go up there towards Canada and the Great Lakes where it belongs.
Chris, I was kind of looking at the Weather Service's 8 to 14-day forecast, and they're calling for slightly above normal temperatures and above normal precipitation as we wrap up January. What are your models looking like?
We all kind of look at the same models, and there is this indication that once we get towards the end of the month, the first part of February, this El Nino pattern kicks in. We got some high pressure that'll be building back out to the west, and that'll put us in that split flow. So that'll send moisture and precipitation up in the northwest, some disturbances along the Canadian border. We'll have this activity going through the southern jet. We'll probably stay a little bit drier and warmer with those above normal temperatures here in the central part of the country. But our teleconnection models, these oscillation patterns, are showing another possible change the middle parts of February, where some of that Arctic air will start trying to circle back and our jet stream gets a little more wavier. And that could be when we're talking some colder weather and more winter returning somewhere in the middle of February.
Meteorologist Chris Schromick joining us here this morning on 106.1 KYVZ.